It was a cold February afternoon, and Thomas was dozing at Farquhar Station. He had been busy pulling trains all morning, and was glad of a rest. He hadn't been resting long, however, before he was interrupted by the station master.
"I'm so sorry to disturb your rest, Thomas, but I have received a call from the quarry, and there is no engine available to take the next train straight down to Elsbridge. Will you correct the train?"
Thomas yawned loudly.
"Oh, yes, sir, I suppose I must."
When Thomas arrived at the quarry, he found that Mavis had already prepared his train.
Take care, Thomas. These trucks are particularly troublesome. I had a difficult time trying to get them into line.
Never mind, Mavis. I know how to handle trucks. They won't dare play any tricks on me.
I hope you're right.
Mavis watched as Thomas steamed out of the quarry with the grumbling trucks. As he puffed along the line, the trucks began to talk amongst themselves. When they neared the junction, the trucks carried out their plan. The trucks surged into Thomas, bumping him hard as he reached the points. There was a loud crack. The workmen soon arrived to inspect the damage. Your front axle's been severely damaged, Thomas. You'll need to go to the works to have it replaced. Jeff soon arrived with the breakdown train, and Thomas was taken away to the works. As they rolled along the line, Thomas could see an unfamiliar blue tank engine coming the other way.
Who's that?
Thomas would soon find out. Some weeks later, Toby was taking on water when Thomas arrived, having returned from the works.
Hello, Toby. It's nice to be back. I trust you, Percy and Daisy kept things running smoothly in my absence?
Oh, yes indeed. With Hamish's help, of course.
Thomas was confused.
Hamish? Who's Hamish?
Just then, an unfamiliar whistle was heard in the distance.
Here he comes now.
Thomas looked up and saw the blue tank engine which had passed him some weeks earlier. He was shocked to see Hamish pulling Annie and Clarabelle.
Why is he pulling my coaches?
He's been looking after your trains while you've been away. As you know, we are restoring the old Kirk Ronan branch line. Percy's gone to help with the construction. Hamish will be running the line. So he can get a grasp on things, I have assigned him to take your passenger services for the meantime. You will take over Percy's duties until he returns.
Thomas the Tank Engine was speechless! Later that day, Thomas had brought some trucks down to the junction. Hamish was there taking on water as he came to a stop, seething with envy.
Ah, hello lad. My name is Hamish. You must be Thomas.
Yes, I am, and if you'll excuse me, I have work to do.
And Thomas steamed away, leaving Hamish feeling most offended. That night in the sheds, Hamish was talking about the old days on the Caledonian Railway.
The Caledonian Railway? You must have known Donald and Douglas.
Okay, but in those days they were known as 57646 and 57647. Read all about their daring escape to your railway.
Thomas said nothing. He just rolled his eyes. As the days went by, Hamish tried to make conversation with Thomas, but to no avail. Every time he tried, Thomas would just steam away. The Caledonian engine soon became fed up.
I do not know what his problem is. I'm trying to make conversation with him, and he leaves me in a cloud of steam.
Thomas is a good engine. It wouldn't be anything against you personally, Hamish. He's just very protective of his passenger services, and especially his coaches. I'm sure he will realize you are no threat, and you two will get on grandly together.
Toby's words had made Hamish feel a little better. Meanwhile, Thomas had brought some trucks to Elsbridge. He was shunting them into the goods shed as Annie and Clarabelle watched on.
Hello, you two look cheerful.
Oh, yes. Hamish is doing a splendid job with the passenger services. So kind and cheerful. A real gentleman.
Thomas hissed steam crossly.
Well, thank you, Annie and Clarabelle. You've really brightened my day.
And Thomas stormed away. That afternoon at the quarry, he was very rough with the trucks. Mavis was worried.
Are you alright, Thomas?
Oh, it's that Hamish. He comes in, steals my passengers and my coaches, and I'm relegated to taking trucks.
That's not entirely true.
And Mavis explained.
Oh dear. I was so jealous of Hamish, I completely forgot what the Fat Controller said. I must apologise next time I see him.
Thomas was soon coupled up to his trucks, and he set off. As he puffed along the line, Thomas could feel a twinge, but he took no notice.
It's probably nothing.
But it wasn't. As Thomas neared the waterfall, there was a loud crack, followed by a loud hiss of steam. Thomas's crew climbed down to inspect. "You've burst your safety valve. We'll need assistance to get the train home." The guard climbed back into his van and radioed the top station. Hamish was dozing in the yard when the station master ran up to him.
Thomas is broken down just outside the quarry. We need you to rescue the train.
Aye, of course, sir.
Thomas sat in the middle of the line, feeling very sorry for himself.
What a stupid engine I've been.
Thomas was interrupted by a loud whistle. He looked up and saw Hamish coming towards him.
Oh, thank you, Hamish. I'm sorry I was so rude to you.
Hamish smiled.
Okay, think nothing of it, Thomas. I understand how protective you are of your coaches, and I take no offence. Now, let's get this train home. Well done, Hamish. Once you shunted Thomas into the siding, you shall take the train the rest of the way to Elsbridge.
He then turned to Thomas.
And you, Thomas, must go back to the works for repairs to your safety valve. and you shall resume your regular passenger duties when you return.
Hamish shunted Thomas into a siding, and with a cheerful whistle, he puffed away. Some days later, Percy returned, and Hamish departed for his new task of running the Kirk Ronan branch line. He is never lonely, as he is often helped by his old friends, Donald and Douglas. And sometimes, whenever they have the chance, the three engines can often be seen together, reminiscing about the old days in the Scottish Highlands.